Hey guys, it's Bethany.
And I'm Kristen.
And we are looking for the middle. That's all you need to know. I said that weird. It's fine. Thank you for joining us for another episode of CouchCast. This is why Kristen doesn't let me talk in the beginning because I just sound weird, you guys. She always does all our intro stuff because she's much more professional than I am.
No, that was just really...
Anyway.
I was waiting to say the Christian Girls Guide to Modern Dating, but you said we're looking for them. I'm like, yep, we sure are.
My bad.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
That's amazing.
Okay, so let's jump in today. CouchCast episode number 2.
If you missed our last CouchCast episode, just to give you an idea of what we're doing here, these are just some mini episodes we're doing in between seasons, and we're not prepping really for these. We don't have notes. We don't have any talking points. We're just asking a question that either we've gotten asked a lot or that has come to our attention from social media or listeners, and addressing that just off the top of our heads. Yeah. So very organic, very unfiltered.
We're going to say really silly stuff, I promise you.
Yes, and Bethany is not allowed to edit these as much as she normally does, just so you get the full effect.
This is the real us, you guys.
Yes, so just so you have an idea of what we're doing here, that's kind of the game plan for these.
What are we talking about?
We are talking about whether or not it's okay for girls to ask guys out. Ooh. Is it a good idea or a bad idea?
Okay, well, let's start with, is it a sin issue? Because that'll answer it right off the bat. Do you think it's a sinful thing for a girl to take the initiative and ask a guy out?
I don't necessarily think it's a sin issue. I don't think that, and I mean, granted, the Bible says nothing about dating, so we don't have a lot to go off.
I think it's your heart.
Yes, I don't necessarily think it's a sin issue. I think that...
would you ever do it?
No.
Why?
But here's why.
I wouldn't either.
I have a great... Yeah. And honestly, I don't know if I've ever asked a guy out, but I have done the pursuing in the past.
Pushed the envelope a little, yeah.
Yes, and it's never worked, being really honest. But I think a pattern in some of the guys I've dated in the past is that I wasn't pursued like I wanted to be, and I don't want to set a precedence going forward of, I'm going to be the one to kick this off, but then I'm expecting you to pursue me. And then once we're together, you better get your act together. I think it's super attractive when a guy is really intentional and pursues me, and that's what I'm really looking for, and that's become a higher priority based off of my past relationship. Sure. So that's why I personally would not ask a guy out. But I mean, I know like my mom did. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my mom's like super bold. Yeah. And but then she also knew like guys like the chase. Yeah. So
well, I'm kind of the same. I feel like if you start out, you ask a guy out. Okay, so let's just follow this process now. You've asked a guy out. So then you're probably going to plan the date because you asked him out. Yeah. So then you sit down to dinner or whatever you're doing.
Are you going to
pay for it? I feel like you should. Because you asked him out. You planned this date. So now you're going to buy his coffee or his dinner or whatever.
That's so confusing. Okay,
so then after the date, it went well. So you're probably going to be the one to follow up because you've done everything. You're setting your pattern. You're setting up the next date and so on and so forth. And when does that ever become his thing? Yeah. And I just think it sets a precedent right off the bat that I don't want personally.
No, I'm the same way. And I think, honestly, that has been one of the hardest things for me to find as I am like looking at the guys around me. And if I'm interested in guys, like who is going to be intentional and have some,
gumption,
boldness and gumption to be like, hey Kristen, I've really enjoyed spending time with you recently. I would love to take you out to dinner. Can I pick you up this Thursday at 7 o'clock?
I love that when it got not just, hey, we should hang out sometime, but when he says, I'll pick you up at 7, I'm like, okay,
I will be ready. Like,
exactly.
Yes. And so that's something that I am really waiting out for. Yeah. And that's something I'm not willing to settle on because I have in the past and I've made excuses for why, he's busy or, he
would
except he's got this other thing going on or this. And I was like, no, if a guy, and that's the common theme I've seen in my, friends, relationships, marriages that I want to emulate is that the guy was very, very intentional.
Yeah. Well, we had a conversation the other day. We were just talking about, okay, what is your biggest pet peeve about guys? And then we were asking them, like, okay, what's your biggest pet peeve about girls? And mine was like, when a guy has no initiative.
That's such a pet peeve.
It drives me crazy. And
it's unattractive.
It is. It's just not something that I'm looking for at all. And so we were like, okay, so what is initiative? And I was like, I'm not talking about someone who's determined to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, has all this initiative and drive and ambition.
Which is great, but that's not what we're talking about. That's not what
I mean when I say that here. I'm saying someone who will say, hey, let's go out, let's go to dinner, or has initiative just in life in general. He sees something that needs to be done, and he does it. You don't have to tell him every little thing to do. He doesn't have to be held by the hand. Like, his own person with the confidence and the initiative to step out and do what needs to be done.
Yeah, and he's a self-starter.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to coax him into doing something.
So, guys, if you're listening, initiative.
Initiative is
lots of points there.
Always a good thing. But, yeah, I think, and we've talked about this before, so don't hear us when I say you can't do anything, because it's not, like, don't just sit at home and wait for the UPS guy to deliver your husband, as I like to say. But, like, you can give him hints. You can flirt. You can be around him. You can make yourself apparent in the situation.
I think having a good girlfriend on your side who is, like you were talking about your mom, the super bold, say it like it is type, who's, she knows who you're interested in. Yeah. She knows who you like, who's going to go say, hey, dude, just in case you hadn't noticed.
She's interested. If you asked her out, she would say yes.
Exactly. That can be invaluable at times.
It really can. Yeah. It really can. So, all of that to say, I don't think it's a sin. And if you have before, we're not judging you.
No.
This is one of those things where it's like, what do you want? What are you looking for? What kind of precedents do you want to set at the beginning of a relationship? Yeah. And keep all those things in mind of, okay, what do I want long term instead of, I'm just impatient right now and I'm tired of waiting for him, so I'm just going to make the move.
Yep. We've talked about before, are you looking for a certain type of person because there's things that you are looking for in someone you're going to be with long term? Or do you just want somebody right now? And if the second one is your thing, you need to work on other things.
Yeah, that's where you need to take a step back and think, what are my motives? Like, do I really want this person, or do I just want a person?
Exactly.
And
there's a big difference.
There is a huge difference. So that's another question to ask yourself. But all in all,
I don't think it's the best idea, but I don't think it's a horrible idea.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I would not say, oh my word, I can't believe you asked me.
No.
I just wouldn't do it
either. And that's just how I roll.
There we go. That's how it is. Okay, guys, so thank you for joining us. Another episode of CouchCast. We hope you're enjoying the season break, I guess you could say. We'll be back in February with real full-long episode. Full-long? Is that a thing? A full-length. Full-length episodes.
Told you we don't have any notes.
In February. So, until then, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Looking for the Middle.